Today, we're diving into one of the most incredible stories ever told. It's a journey of betrayal, of unbelievable suffering, and ultimately of a redemption so powerful it literally changed the course of history. This is the story of Joseph. I want you to just take a second and really imagine this. The people you love and trust the most in the entire world, they betray you. They sell you into slavery. And then, as if that's not enough, you're thrown into a dark prison for a crime you absolutely did not commit. That's exactly where this story begins. On the surface, it just looks like a total tragedy, right? But it raises this huge question, one that I think a lot of us have probably asked at some point in our own lives. How in the world could all of that suffering actually be a step toward salvation? To figure that out, we have to go all the way back to the beginning, back to a promise that first showed up in a dream. So, picture this. We're in the ancient land of Canaan. It's a world just simmering with family drama, jealousy, and a whole lot of uncertainty. And into this world comes a young man, Joseph. He starts getting these incredible divine visions, glimpses of a future glory. But that very thing that makes him special, well, it also puts a giant target on his back. And this is where that divine promise seems to just shatter into a million pieces. This is the moment he's betrayed and thrown into the pit. You've got a whole cast of characters on this stage. There are the jealous brothers, a tough Egyptian master named Potiphar, and of course, the most powerful man in the world, the Pharaoh. But here's the thing. There's another key player, one who's completely unseen. And while everyone else thinks they're in control, this unseen hand is quietly, carefully guiding every single outcome. So you know those dreams of greatness he had? Well, they don't exactly inspire his family. In fact, they do the opposite. They ignite a jealousy so white-hot that his own brothers sell him into slavery. I mean, the betrayal just doesn't get any deeper or more personal than that. And from that pit, Joseph's journey goes even deeper into darkness. He is, for all intents and purposes, forgotten. Just when it seems like maybe, just maybe, he's starting to get his footing in Potiphar's house, his integrity is tested in the worst way. He does the right thing, he resists temptation, and for his trouble, he gets falsely accused. It's just one crushing injustice piled right on top of another. And just like that, for a crime he didn't commit, he is thrown into a dungeon. He is completely and utterly left behind, cut off from everything and everyone he ever knew. He's forgotten. And you know, this is the part of the story that feels so real, so universal. This is that moment of profound doubt, that dark place where anyone who has ever suffered asks that same gut-wrenching question. Where is God when everything is falling apart? But right when all hope seems lost, the story takes a turn. A new chapter begins. From the total darkness of that prison cell, Joseph is about to become a voice for the king. Now, to really get a feel for what he went through, you have to understand the timeline. He's sold into slavery. He spends 10 years serving as a slave. Then he's thrown into prison. He spends another 2 years in there before he's finally suddenly called before Pharaoh. That's 13 long, hard years of waiting. And all of a sudden, the very gift that got him into so much trouble in the first place, his ability to interpret dreams, is the one thing the most powerful man on earth desperately needs. Pharaoh is having these terrifying dreams, and Joseph, the forgotten prisoner, is his last and only hope. What was once a source of conflict is now the key to an entire nation's survival. And what happens next is the most dramatic comeback story you can imagine, from prisoner to prince. But this is so much more than a change of luck. This is the moment that hidden, divine purpose starts to become stunningly clear. And right here, we get to the real heart of it all. You see, Joseph's story, it isn't just about Joseph. It's like a powerful preview of a much greater story of redemption. Just look at the parallels. Both were betrayed for silver. Both suffered unjustly. This pattern is so important because it shows us God's pattern for salvation. Just as Joseph saved his people from physical death by famine, his life points us towards Jesus, who saves all of humanity from spiritual death. So Joseph becoming second in command of Egypt, that wasn't just a personal victory. It wasn't just a smart move for the Egyptian empire. No, this was God's providence in action, a master plan to save not just one family, but whole nations from a catastrophic famine. Okay, so what does any of this mean for you and me, right here, right now? Well, this is where all the different threads of this incredible story come together to form what you could call a tapestry of hope. The big idea here is something called divine providence. And all that means is the belief that God is behind the scenes, governing and orchestrating every single detail of the universe with perfect wisdom. So what looks to us like total chaos, like senseless tragedy, is actually part of an unseen, masterful design. And thinking that way gives us a totally new lens to see our own lives through. It's almost like a three-step guide. First, we can start to see our trials and hardships not as random, meaningless events, but as individual threads. Second, we can make the choice to trust the unseen weaver, even when the pattern makes absolutely no sense to us. And third, we can learn to wait with hope for that final, beautiful design to be revealed. Because this is the heart of the message. God can take every single moment of betrayal, every dark night of the soul, every unfair accusation in your life, and he can weave it all into something beautiful, a tapestry of hope. So as we finish up, I just want you to think about the pieces of your own story, especially the broken pieces, the ones that feel unfair or lost. And I want to leave you with this question. What if God is weaving even those pieces into something far greater, far more beautiful than you could ever possibly imagine?